to this episode of Behind the Wrestler. My guest at this time is none other than the Predator himself, Kingston Eclipse. Thank you very much for taking the time out and giving us a inside look at who Kingston Eclipse is. So first question that you've been asked a million times and probably get asked a whole bunch more is who, when and where did you decide to become a professional wrestler, and who inspired you to become a professional wrestler?
I guess like before I got into pro wrestling, I did MMA, mixed martial arts. Did it for at least three to 4 years. Wrestling has always been, like pro wrestling has always been like at the back of my head. Funny story, like there was what do you call it, like a talent intake at this school. I wouldn't say who, but I thought I'll tick it off my bucket list. So I went down. Out of 15 guys that tried out, only me and another guy made it. I think I got him because of my looks, the way I look. Don't look like your average Joe. But as a youngster growing up, watching pro wrestling, there was a guy named Vampiro. He was a guy that got me into pro wrestling. It's not the generic answer that people would hear. People like Bret Hart, they like Stone Cold and Kurt Angle and all that, but for some reason I gravitated towards Vampiro. And he just looked odd. I kind of related to that. Plus he had a background in mixed martial arts, and I saw it during his wrestling, and I kind of incorporated that into my style of wrestling. Yeah, back not in his what do you call it? During his Mexico era, but kind of like WCW era. So yeah.
That's you don't hear Vampiro's name that often.
Nah. So like whenever I mention Vampiro, they're like, "Oh, who's that?"
Yeah.
So then I gotta go through these photos and like, "Oh, this guy."
Okay,
like,
this
"Oh, you're into him." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah, so I know Vampiro from Lucha Underground. That's when I first got
Oh
introduced
yeah.
to Vampiro, and I was like, oh, this guy's awesome. So you said you've found your a wrestling school that was doing intakes and stuff.
Yeah.
And you mainly made your mark and started your ground base from Maniacs United.
I'd say yeah.
So how did Maniacs United come about? Like, how did you find out about it? What was the environment like than the previous stuff?
Well, the first school that I walked into, I did a couple trainings here and there with them, but then I lost the bug, the wrestling bug for it, so I went back to MMA. But then in my early 20s, wrestling was still at the back of my head, so I needed to give it another go. But instead of venturing to that first school, I found Maniacs United. I kind of like honed my craft through that school.
With like honing your craft through that school and stuff, and making your debut in your debut match, what was the thoughts and the process going from uh, like this is actually gonna happen, and I'm at my first match?
Oh man, debut match. Am I allowed to swear? Nah, I'm not allowed to swear. Eh? Nah.
You can if you want, just not so much.
I was crapping my pants, like on my debut match. Um, I guess what should I say? What you say? Like what was my thoughts
Yeah,
going into
like
to their first match?
yeah, going into that match, yeah.
Man, trying to what do you call it? Trying to, I guess, like just be free,
Yeah,
like let loose, stop being too stiff.
yeah,
Try and have fun, but at the same time, I was trying to have fun, but at the same time trying to work.
yeah,
Not trying to be too obvious to the crowd that I am nervous.
yeah.
Yeah. But after a while, like once I got like the jitters out, starting to let loose, enjoy what I was doing, then it kind of just became natural in a sense.
What was the feeling afterwards, like after your first match? Now was that bug just sunk in and it's just
Yeah. Like after my debut match, it was only in front of like at least 15 to 20, but like that was a lot. Like before I did MMA and wrestling, I was doing crump, so like performing in front of like that amount of people it's still nerve-wracking. But like the way I felt afterwards was like I need more. Everybody's hungry for more. Everybody wants to do better than they did in their previous matches and stuff like that. So yeah, that was like my mindset.
Gonna fast forward a little further here.
Yeah.
And you got your first official pro wrestling championship under your belt, which was the Jackson Shield Championship, if that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were, I think, the very first Jackson Shield champion.
Yeah, you can say I was the first. Yeah.
What was the thought process of you finding out that you're gonna be in your first title match and walking out Jackson Shield champion?
With any championship, it's an honor. But at the same time, there is pressure. You will become the face of that company, and you have to be the man to carry that banner. So, with winning that championship, I was willing to take on that responsibility and pump up that Manix United brand with the Jackson Shield. So, with that kind of pressure, yeah, I welcomed it.
And you being like, you had that shield for a very long time, and you had a year-long rivalry, if not a bit longer than that, with Rough Guts Roddy Gunn. So, working with Rough Guts Roddy Gunn for almost a year, like a year and a bit.
Yeah.
And getting into your first Ironman match, like, what was the what'd you take away from there? And what'd you learn from working with Rough Guts?
Working with Rough Guts, man, I've learned to what do you call it? Reinvent myself from time to time. After a while, if I do the same odd thing, my fans and those that watch me, they know gonna happen, or like they know what's the next move, or they know what my routine is. So for me, wrestling rough guards is always keeping me on my toes. Mind you, like with rough guards, man, like I have a move, but he's already like 2 steps ahead of me, so I gotta, yeah, like I said, reinvent myself and come up with like new strategies. That's the good thing I took away from that match, or from that beef that I've had with him for like at least, yeah, at least a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, you know, after you finished up with guts and all of that, and opportunity came up to go over to Japan.
Yeah.
And you had the opportunity to do a tour with Noah.
Yeah.
Um, like, how did that all of that come about? What was the thought process? How was the whole entire experience and all of that?
Funny story, like Shelton Benjamin, he was gonna be in Australia in Sydney, taking a seminar, and for me, like an opportunity like that doesn't come around. So I booked the ticket to Sydney on that Friday, did the seminar on a Saturday, and then flew back on Sunday. And then once Shelton Benjamin heard that I done that and that I wasn't from Australia, it kind of gave him like what do you call it? I wouldn't say like the green light for me, but like he kind of like kept his eye on me, because like I was the only foreigner, or not foreigner, but like outsider from New Zealand to travel to Australia just for a 3-hour seminar and then fly back. I showed him what I had and what I can give, and then and then after the seminar he was like, "Oh, hey, I like what you had, but like expect an email from me." But like with me, like I kind of just brush it off, because I'm pretty sure he says that to every single guy that he comes across. So like, yeah, I brushed it off, flew back home on Sunday. Then on Monday I got an email from him.
Oh wow!
But I thought it was like one of those scams. So I didn't bother replying back. And then the promoter that was holding that seminar, he emailed me, and then he goes, "Oh, did you get any email from Shelton?" I go, "Yeah, I got it on Monday, but like it might be a scam." He was like, "Nah, reply back." I go, "Really?" He go, "Yeah, reply back." I go, "Why is that?" Because he's emailing me, trying to get a hold of you. So I was like, "What's his email address?" So he gave it to me, and then I put them both together. I was like, "Oh, yes, it must be legit." So I emailed Shelton Benjamin back, said, "Oh, hey, sorry, I was busy. Thank you for like actually noticing me during the seminar and all that kind of stuff." And it was like, "Oh yeah, I like what you had, but then I think you need to progress more, and he can do that for me." I go, "Okay, cool." And he goes, "I got 3 options for you: either train or book a T at Reality of Wrestling,
Yeah.
go with Shelton Benjamin to Pro Wrestling Noah, or go to Ring of Honor."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, all those 3 options, they're really big,
Yeah.
but what's the ideal option for me?" And he goes, "Oh, at the moment he's wrestling for Pro Wrestling Noah, and he goes, oh, I'll keep you under my wing and we'll go to Japan."
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So like, what's the process of getting myself to Japan? He was like, "Don't worry, like you just need to sort out your visa, passport, and all that, and he'll take care of the rest."
Yeah.
So like, even that was like a blessing to me too, like him reaching out and doing all the other expenses as well. So like, when it came to that actual day that I had to fly out, my partner at the time, she was carrying my second child, and I'll be gone to Japan for like at least 3 to 4 months, and it was kind of uh, heavy,
Yeah.
letting her be, because I have a son, and for her to be like, when I leave to Japan, she has to play the mother and father role
Yeah.
while I'm gone. So that was the kind of pressure I didn't want to put on her. But at the same time, those are the sacrifices that every wrestler has to make, especially if you're a father or a parent or some kind of role model. But like, yeah, those were the choices I had to make, and I'm glad that I made it. Um, it actually switched my style of wrestling. I wouldn't say like I went from Western style wrestling to Japanese style, but like uh, the way I wrestle now to how I was wrestling before, I can see a tremendous difference.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The tour while you're over there, what was the schedule like?
Oh fuck.
Like just the travel and like the amount of time you had to wrestle and doing all the media stuff while you're over there as well. Like what was it? What was that experience like?
Man, I thought like I thought like wrestling in Australia and New Zealand was like hectic, but like actually wrestling every second day in Japan was that for like 2 months. That's hectic. Traveling from the dojo to like a town that's like 8 hours out, wrestle there, stay the night there as well, and then travel an extra 3 hours to another town, and then from that town travel all the way back to the dojo, and then have like, I guess you can have like a day or a night or two to rest, and then back on the road again. The tour was it kind of opened my mind and my head to like what the life of a wrestler actually is.
Yeah.
What do you call it? There was a time when I was on the road. I made my debut match for Pro Wrestling Noah, but I asked one of the top dogs in Japan if he can watch my match and give me feedback afterwards. He's like, yeah, sure. So then I went, I did my thing, I came back, and then I asked him, oh, feedback, and he was like, oh, your wrestling very gay. I like what? You're like, very, very soft. I was like, oh, what do you mean? He was like, wrestling has to be like a martial art. It has to be like the fans can tell that you're holding back, and once you do that, then the fans lose interest in you.
Yeah.
So then he was like, yeah, your strikes are very soft. I go, okay. And then he goes, your chops. I go, yeah, very soft. I go, really? I go, yeah. When I chop, I chop with the right, but he's like, what's your left hand doing? I go, meaning what? He goes, make it like a strike. So every chop is like a strike.
Right.
You guys can look up Kenta Kobashi.
Yeah.
And you see his chops, they're like machine gun chops,
Yeah.
kind of strikes, yeah. So like every strike, every hit, every chop is like a strike. It's like it's like a weapon.
Yeah.
But like as far as touring with Pro Wrestling Noah, the schedule it's hectic, man. Like every day we're training, every night we're training as well. even when we get to the shows, to the venues, we get to the venues maybe like 5 hours prior. But within those 5 hours, we're actually training as well, like what young lions do, what young boys do as well. So we're all training and prepping for the shows. But like every second day, we're always wrestling, traveling out to different areas of Japan.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can get hectic sometimes. Yeah.
And then you came back home from that experience, and then you got started doing some Australia dates, and you frequently do them.
Yeah.
As a company, I think it's AWF, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. AWF. So how did like all of that come about? Did they notice your stuff from Noah, or did you go there and do a seminar or something?
It was the promoters were hitting me up while I was in Japan. Right. So that I guess people from Australia, they were keeping an eye on me while I was over there. Mm-hmm. Kept asking me when am I coming back, or if I am coming back. I gave them the dates. That I was coming back, and then as soon as I flew back, the following week I flew out to Australia with AWF. From that day onwards, I've just kept that bond. Wrestling in New Zealand, it's good for me as well, but I like to wrestle new faces, like new. I want new people to test me. Like, right. I don't want to sound like make that sound like I'm cheesy or anything, but like it's, like wrestling new guys, new wrestlers. It kind of keeps me on my toes, just like how I wrestle with Rough Guts. How he keeps me on my toes. Keeps me like. Keep reinventing myself when I'm with Rough Guts. So in that same kind of sense, I'm doing the same when I'm like wrestling in Australia with like AWF, AWE, All Star Wrestling, Future Wrestling, all those other feds within Sydney. Yeah. So yeah.
And you going over frequently and consistently.
Yeah.
You've had like amazing opportunities over there.
Yeah.
You not if people not aware, and people who don't know, you had the opportunity to wrestle Chavo Guerrero, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
His list of like the things that he's done, the lineage that he comes from, the name that he carries.
Yeah.
Like it's like one of the legendary names in the business. And getting the opportunity to learn from Chavo Guerrero and getting to wrestle him. How were you trying to prepare yourself? How were you getting yourself ready? How did it come about? Like talk us through that whole experience.
Wrestling Chavo, man. I kind of, we call it like fangirled when I was actually in the same locker room as Chavo. Like I only fangirled for about like 5-10 minutes, then I brushed it off because like I gotta be like professional and like he's just like me, like, or like he's just like everybody, like a human.
Yeah.
He's like human being, but like after a while, like I sat down with Chavo, and I was trying to go through the match with Chavo, and I think Chavo, he kind of like introduced me to like there's a fading art called calling in the ring.
Yeah.
So like that was my first encounter of not not going through like what I need to do, what he needs to do,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. We pretty much just like called it in the ring, like purely.
Yeah.
When he told me that, I was actually like I was kind of scared because I've never had that kind of experience before. But like he's Chava, he comes from a Guerrero name, so like all that kind of like I kind of just left it in his hands. But like to actually do a match like that, like just call it, yeah, open my eyes to like reading the crowd reactions. He's actually like a he's a top notch guy, bro. Like he's real laid back, really easy to work as well.
Yeah.
Like I was going there like bloody scared, like cause I don't wanna mess it up.
Yeah.
I don't wanna like hit him too hard where he's gonna hit me one back. But like he's actually a good worker. Everything was smooth. During the whole match, bro, I was like a student, bro, just listening. Whatever he said, I'll go. Yeah. But at the end of the match, I think he's got like a lot of Samoan friends that like when he gave me he gave me the frog splash.
Yeah.
And when he went to give me the pin, he was like, "Oh, thanks, Oos." And when he was pinning me, I was gonna actually laugh, but when he thanks Oos, I was like, "Oh yeah, all good Oos." So he like 1, 2, 3, and then yeah, he rolled out, and I rolled out of the ring, and then I went back into character. But for that split second, bro, I was like, man, I didn't know Mexicans know the word Oos.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys don't know what Oos means, it's short for Uso.
Yeah.
And Uso, it's a Samoan word for brother. So it's kind of like a universal word. Like every ethnicity says it.
Yeah.
Oh well, in my case, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just weird when he said that. When he did the frog splash, bang.
Yeah.
So thank you, Oos. Okay, hey, oh yeah, all good Oos. Yep.
Just throws you off guard a bit.
Yeah. But then I was like, damn. After the pin, I was like, back into character.
You know, like taking away from that experience and the Japan experience, and from when you started to where you are now.
Yeah.
What was the like? Do you still incorporate your mixed martial arts into your wrestling style, or have you changed it up a lot more from all the experiences that you've had so far?
My style, it's since I came back from Japan, it's the style that I learned from there. I brought it here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like my foundation now. But like every wrestler that I wrestled against, like from the time I came back from Japan till now, I kind of just grab everybody's not input, but like what they add to the matches that I've had with them.
Right.
Kind of, if that makes sense. So I'll take from them, like I take from one and take from another. Then I mold it into what I already have, or like the foundation that I already have. But as far as mixed martial arts, yeah, I still incorporate that into my style of wrestling. I'm kind of happy that I did learn the Japanese style of wrestling, strong style wrestling, combat wrestling. I think from when I first started, it was just fun.
Yeah.
It's still fun for me now, but like during the I guess you would say like the golden era of Kingston Eclipse, like when he first started off, He was just having fun, getting really into the character that I was trying to portray out there. Like my family's real heavy into Native American history. So when I came out as Kingston Eclipse, I came out as that Native American kind of gimmick.
Yeah.
So from that, I didn't want to be known as that because it's kind of rude. A Samoan trying to be a Native American. Yeah. So I kind of branched off from that kind of gimmick into more like Mortal Kombat-ish kind of never back down kind of combat wrestling, martial art kind of wrestling. Yeah.
With going from all of those experiences, I believe you've had opportunities over in Australia to wrestle for their championships as well.
Yeah,
You've had championship opportunities over there. So what was that experience like? Them saying that, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity to see where it goes. Show us what you can do.
It was another blessing.
Yeah.
It kind of it puts like this thing in my head like they have that much faith in a brown boy like me from New Zealand coming into Australia. I think they may have seen something that can benefit their company. With me, like going to Australia, bro, I'm always the bad guy. Nobody, I don't want to be racist, but like nobody likes a brown guy in Australia. You can edit that if you want, I don't know. But like me being the bad guy, going to Australia, like, and taking on that their championship, whichever fed that I was at, and carrying that banner, like I take it like a challenge. Like they've given me the opportunity, and it's my time to take that belt and promote their company. Like I don't want to trash that championship or that company, but like it's like what do you call it? Taking that championship, like taking the whatever fed that I was wrestling at, them giving me that belt and me representing that company, it is a blessing. But sometimes that blessing, it becomes a curse.
Right.
Because when it's like not every day you see a guy like me being a champ, and it's not every day you see a guy like me like doing the things that I do.
Right.
So like when I do the things that I do, people don't like it. But then that's the kind of reaction I like, because it proves to them that every guy like me can come on top.
Yeah.
In these kind of times. So, yeah, kind of like, yeah.
What is like, what motivates you to keep going? Have you had any thoughts of taking time away from wrestling at any period of time from all the experiences that you've had? What drives you and gives you motivation to keep on going?
Motivation. My motivation is to never be. What do you call it? There's an old saying that my old man told me when we were making this gimmick, this Kingston Eclipse gimmick. It was to never. Oh, he told us. He said it one time. Never feel satisfied.
Right.
There's always that 1%. The moment you feel satisfied is the moment you're just gonna be you're gonna be bored, and it's not gonna be fun anymore. So that's my motivation, is to never feel satisfied. My character, my style, it can always evolve, but never be satisfied at one point. As far as wrestling, there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna take a lot of time off. You know, I've had like at least 2 months max, and that's just no wrestling, no dates, no nothing. Just stay home, chill with my family, cause that's what I've been doing. Not chilling with my family, but neglecting them. I've been doing too much wrestling, too much flying to Australia, coming back home, and then I'm not at home. Or like I'm home, but my mindset is onto the next date, onto the next wrestling date. So like I'm physically here, but mentally I'm not here.
Yeah.
So when I do take those 2 months off, like off of wrestling, it kind of brings me back down to earth. Like not taking my family for granted, because they've been through a lot while I'm doing my wrestling. But the longest period that I'll be taking time off will be the build up to my wedding.
Yeah.
So my wedding will be in a few years. So during that time period, I don't want to forget wrestling, but I need time to focus on family life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that'll be the longest break I'll ever have in wrestling.
It's just like rehab, rebuild, reclaim sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
What's your ultimate achievement and goal that you would like to get out of professional wrestling? Is it to work for New Japan? Is it to work for Ring of Honor? Is it to work for WWE? What is your ultimate goal that you want to obtain and reach in professional wrestling?
With every wrestler, their ultimate dream is to be in the WWE. I've never met any wrestler that says, nah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But like for me, that's always been the ultimate dream, was WWE.
Right.
But like in the back of my head, I felt like I haven't finished what I've not started, but like what I've done in Japan. And during that period, like I felt like I needed more. Even when I came back home, I felt like my job's not done.
Right.
So like either WWE or back with pro wrestling in Japan would be my ultimate goals.
I would like to talk about a seminar that you took part of, that I was a part of as well, and it was the Jaro seminar with
Yes.
Ballet Dojo.
Yeah.
What was the experience you took away from that day, and even though everyone's legs was giving out?
It kind of shocked my body when I went back to, not went back, but like went to the Fale Dojo seminar. Jado's always been a straight up dude. Wait. Do you remember that story I told you about, like the top dog of Japanese wrestling told me that my style was soft?
Yeah,
it was Jado. It was Jado, man. Yeah.
Oh, wait.
So it was him. So when I finally went to the seminar, and then he saw me, he was like, "Oh, Kingston-san, oh, it's sort of the same." I'm like, yeah, it's sort of the same. Yeah. But like what I took out of that seminar was to it's about will. You have the will to train, the will to like go past the pain barrier, and like the trainings and everything. It was extremely hard, man. Like, but what I took out of that was like perseverance, man. Like you gotta persevere through the pain, persevere through the struggles to get to that ultimate point that you want to get to. Yeah, that was.
Is there anyone in particular that you would like to face in the ring? Like, is there someone that that you have to tick off like the bucket list that I have to at least share the ring or be in the ring with this person as my opponent?
I wanna go up against Kingy.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's he has so much knowledge that I need to like absorb. He's one of the top dogs. Like I didn't care if I win against him or if I lose, but like to be in the actual ring with like a vet like him.
Yeah.
Like man, that's like that'll like uplift my spirit like even higher. Like regardless if I win or lose, but like yeah. Not every day people will say Kingy, but like yeah, Kingy will be my ultimate on that top of the list.
He's actually on my list too.
Oh, really?
Like he's one of the guys that I wanna step into the ring with and have the opportunity to learn from as well, because I think he's got a lot of knowledge. A lot of knowledge to give. So what's next for Kingston Eclipse?
What's next for me? Besides this wedding, for me, I'm the kind of guy that just go with the flow. I'm that kind of guy. I'm real mellow. I'm hoping like there'll be like another date with a foreign country.
All right.
I have my mind set on this one country. Just hope everything works out.
All right.
But that's my ultimate goal is with that foreign country.
Thank you very much for taking the time out and giving us a little insight of Kingston Eclipse.
Yeah, I'm actually a good guy, so
cheer for him. Alright, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Behind the Wrestler, and I will catch everyone on the next one.